So the delegation went to Delhi. I mean, in the end, Indira Gandhi agreed to step in and do something about Auroville. And she passed in 1980, she passed the Auroville Emergency Provisions Act, which took over the administration of Auroville. It took it out of the hands of the Sri Aurobindo Society. Thereupon, the Sri Aurobindo Society launched court cases against the central government because it found it illegal and it was an interference in religious matters and things like that. The court cases, in fact, the Sri Aurobindo Society had a lot going for it. They should probably have won it, but somehow the Aurovilians managed to create these kind of slandering accusations, lots of things like wrong accounting and stuff. So it was easy to find something. I don't think that the Sri Aurobindo Society was necessarily saintly or ideal, but at the same time, Mother never ever wanted any government to be involved in the running of Auroville. So going to Delhi already was immediately an overstepping of the express wishes of Mother, asking the government of India to take the administration of Auroville, to take charge of Auroville, to become the legal owner of Auroville, is 100% against Mother's wishes. But it is what happened, and it is why the government is involved today. So, at that moment, there was an administration from Delhi in Auroville. At that time, in fact, the Aurovilians, the people, mainly the Westerners, the faction that had wanted the Sri Aurobindo Society to be removed from Auroville, had won in practice. There was a lot going on here, and in fact, this is more or less when what I call the cult of Auroville really took charge of Auroville and got in place and took the power to rule over Auroville. And they started, at that moment, they were able to start creating their own kingdoms here. Now that act of 1980 was renewed in 1982, was renewed in 1986, 4 and in 86. So 3 times. At that time it became untenable for Indira Gandhi to renew it again. She was already not there really anymore, but anyway, the government could not renew it again in 1988, and therefore in 1988 the Auroville Foundation Act was created to make the takeover of Auroville by the government permanent. And so at that moment, Auroville became legally a project of the Indian government under the Delhi Ministry of Education. So you need to understand all of these things in order to understand what is here today, because today the claim is, what is the government doing in Auroville? Why is the government taking over? That's not at all what happened. Auroville was given by these same people on a platter. I mean, Auroville was, the government of India was begged by these people to take over Auroville and to take charge of Auroville. So it's the other way around. These are the people that willingly sold out Auroville to the government of India. Now, I feel personally that Mother would have never wanted it, but at the same time it's what happened. So it's the reality, it's part of the divine plan. But now that it is a reality, we have to deal with it. You can't turn that back, we can't undo the past. So this is what is here today. The government is involved, and we really need to take that into account. I mean, you can't pretend that now suddenly they should not be here anymore. Because we, even though I was not there, we begged the government to come here, take Auroville out of the hands of the Sri Aurobindo Society, and then somehow, via the back door, hand it over to the people, to the Westerners, the hippies, who had come here to live an easy life in Auroville and to have all the freedom and no authority above them, to be their own kings, to be their own bosses. And that's exactly what happened, what they were able to do for all of these decades.